one of the concerns that has come up is in relation to illegal mining, Galamsey, and we have seen news reports of people said to be affiliated to the new administration taking over, various concessions, illegal concessions for that matter, in different parts of the country. How worrying is it? Bearing in mind that the current administration had, spoken about how it would deal with the canker among others, and in these early days, we're seeing people said to be affiliated to them, invading forests and all that.
Now, thank you for the opportunity. I must say that I'm not aware of the story you are telling me, but if that is the case, then it's unfortunate that this fight, the youth groups behind the NDC, some of them want to take that route. It's not a good thing. And the good news is that yesterday, I think you and I heard the sector minister going through vetting. When Parliament approves of his nomination, I'm sure these things are going to be looked at and dealt with. But in the meantime, I expect that the security agencies should be able to rise up to the occasion and help stem the tide.
Yesterday, the minister designate, also took his turn before the committee. Did you make time to monitor in any way?
I couldn't monitor that much because I had work to do. A few of the things that I listened to and then I read from various networks. I think we just hope that he will be able to discharge his duties as expected of him, because Ghanaians have reposed a lot of confidence in this government, particularly problems such as what the fight against Galamsey. We expect nothing but best performance from government, and I'm sure that is why the government put in an experienced person such as Kofi Amabua, who has been a former minister for energy and the likes. I have hope that all things being equal, the minister would deliver. But we are also well awake, and that if we are not getting the best results, we will not hesitate to throw in ideas that will help him to succeed. We want Ghana to succeed, so whoever want to do a good job, we are ready to support you, whether you are in government or you are in private life or whatever political party that is in office. It is the duty of we Ghanaians to support you to succeed, but we will not hesitate to call you to order when you are crossing boundaries.
Considering that Galamsey was a very topical issue going into the election, and how early the conversations have started now under the current administration, do you think that it will prod the administration into action early enough to deal with the canker?
The government has no choice than to deliver on its promise. The issue of Galamsey, I was among the few people who said that we did not hear that. I did not hear that any aspect of Galamsey in the president's inaugural address. And I am happy that we have a minister who is going to do what is expected of the president. So we only keep fingers crossed and get ready to see action.
And one other issue that many people are looking forward to is that when the fight against illegal mining starts, what do you expect that it will be done differently? Because many of the analysts admitted, or in terms of the assessment of how the illegal mining fight went in the previous administration, they graded it as one of failure. And so with the new administration coming in and they also setting out on a mission to deal with illegal mining, ruthlessly for that matter, what must they do differently in order to ensure that there is result that at the end of
I
the day
think
we'll see that our water bodies are clear and our forests are
I
free of
think
miners?
I think there are certain basic things they need to do for starters. One is to, prescribe that LI that allows uh, mining to be done on water bodies and then in the forest. That should go to be followed up by a real ban on mining in water bodies and in the forest. Then they can also begin to work within the framework of their manifesto. In their manifesto, they promise that they want to have cooperatives and all that. And then you heard the minister say that they will redefine various aspects of what the mining, large scale, medium scale, whatever. Yes, but all beyond all that, what we want is that those engaged in illegal mining grab them and then give them license so that they can do properly supervised mining. Once they do that, they will not go into areas that are forbidden. And two, the state will be able to track the activities. The next point is that the state will rake in the necessary taxes from what their activities, and then above all, the state will be able to employ a lot of people in that sector. When that is done, I believe it will have a multiplying effect on the whole economy. So they should be able to do this in no time. And then if you talk to experts, they tell you that there is also a structure that also impedes the work of the Minerals Commission. There is a certain structure in there that the previous administration introduced. They should take a second look at that. If there's a need for that structure to be removed from there, they do that. So in other words, they should create that enabling environment so that they begin to introduce their policies, taking into consideration that Ghanaians cannot wait for the fight against Galaxy, and it should start now.
Let's talk about, for instance, the need for a comprehensive review of the licensing regime. The minister talked about that. Is that a call you will support?
Yes, and I want the license regime to be not only to be that easy, but also it is not prohibitive. In other words, whoever is ready, once you go through a very simple process, but that you'll be verified all along, and at the end of the day, when that license is given to you, it is worth its salt. Then people begin to work as licensed operators land to look for what minerals. Once you get that, and then I always want alongside the license regime, the supervisory body must be active. If we don't have one, we must put in one. If we have one which is dead, reactivate and let them work alongside, so that they shepherd the whole process for us to get what is fit for purpose in terms of the work that they do there. Once we are able to do this, I am sure all of us will be safe. And I expect the ministry also to work in such a way that they check those who are destroying cocoa farms for production of gold. They should make sure that practice is stopped. Food crops that are being destroyed to give way for mineral production, they should check all those things, because there's no point that Western region, which is one of the most arable lands that we have here, now our forest cover is threatened, food production is threatened, the whole ecosystem is threatened, and that you and I now import certain basic food items from a desert land, Burkina Faso. let us stem the tide in Western region. Let us stem the tide in Eastern and all the places where the landscape activities is going on. And I'm sure we'll be able to support the food sufficiency program of this country.
Let's switch our attention to the United States. Well, the U.S. president, since coming into office, has, undertaking some sweeping actions. One of them is that at the moment, all aid programs have been halted. There's also a program ongoing to get undocumented immigrants out of the place. Among others, he has opted out of the WHO. They are rolling out measures to finalize it. WHO has spoken about it, among others. I mean, should the world brace itself for the new Trump order?
We have no choice than to get ourselves ready for whatever the foreign policy of America and its effect on us. But you see, it should send a clear signal to us that we can never continue to be a dependent country on the first world forever. Yes, it is true that no state can live without depending on one another. But the level of dependency, we should be able to reduce it by producing certain things for ourselves here, add value to them, create the market here, and then, above all, build our own society. If we are able to build our own society, create jobs for our people, make means of livelihood accessible to our people, develop the best human resource for ourselves. I'm sure visiting those countries will be just not necessarily going to look for a job there, but making sure that we get in tune with certain changes in the world and all that. Other than that, we are back home and then building our own society and then developing ourselves, because nobody will do it for us. They want to build their society, and that is the method by which they want to do it. Who can begrudge them? You can't fault them. So if you are against that, then it's funny. All that you have to do is put your house in order so that you are not worried about what goes on in somebody's country. So it should be a wake-up call for the leadership of this country and that of Africa, that the time is now in order and build capacity in our own society. A society that is just and fair. A society that there is plenty for people to access in terms of livelihood. A society that is free from the shackles and tentacles of human rights violations and any other thing that impede human process. Let us develop this. And once we are able to do this, any other program happening elsewhere, we will hear, but will not be bothered, because we are self-sufficient in most of the things that we do. That is the spirit behind, building a solid society for yourself.
And already, we have seen that China is stepping in some areas with regard to, for instance, the WHO, where the US says is going to withdraw funding. China is stepping up to say that, well, I will step in if they are opting out. If this continues, are we going to see a situation where, the superpower America is known for will gradually shift to China?
Not, but what we see that you are now building, you give opportunity to Chinese to also expand their frontiers and to also win the hearts of many of our countries around the globe. And that, remember, China has all manner of programs that penetrating various parts of the world. You are now going to ending that program.
Hello? Hello?
Ready? Can you hear me?
Yes, for a moment the line went dead, yes.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that already Chinese has also put in place certain policies that also inure to their benefit. And of course, countries that they work with also have some benefits. If America continue to pursue their program the way they want to, pursue, they will give Chinese the opportunity to expand their frontiers and get more countries aligned to them. And that creates all manner of benefit for China in terms of global power, in terms of economic power, in terms of even, facilities and resources. Remember, they have what? Natural resource, arrangement where they give you loan and then they also take some natural resources from your place to build their own society. So it is in American interest to be careful about this program. Once they open the door so widely, the Chinese will take advantage and build more capacity, win more souls, and then also strengthen their foothold around the globe.
Do you see some of these decisions impacting our economy in any way? I'm going to reference, for instance, when the Russia-Ukraine conflict, set in, and how our government also attributed some of our challenges economically to the Russia-Ukraine war. Do you foresee some of these actions impacting our economy in any way, or our government at a certain point citing it as a reason for where or how our economy is performing?
Within the global space, any decision taken by trading partners and giants within the global space obviously drops off with beneficial country or smaller countries. Yes. So you can have impact. There's no doubt about that. But what you have to do as a state is that we should be able to activate our foreign policy, perspectives to be able to find certain solutions to our problem and get ourselves prepared for any eventuality that will come. That is a mark of what? Propriety. When you are engaging in what? Diplomacy and foreign policy issues, you should be abreast with these things and know the consequence, and then you prepare yourself towards that just in case the worst happens, then you know where to fall and all that. But if you sit down and you fold your arms without taking any pragmatic decision by events, and that is not good enough. So
Doc?
it has a ripple effect on developing
Doc,
countries.
for a moment your line went dead. You were saying that this is going to have ripple effect on our economy. Is that what you said?
I'm saying that whatever happens within the global space in terms of giants and their satellite states and other dependents, it obviously have impact on smaller countries. So we are saying that what we are seeing obviously will have impact, but it is our duty to be able to read in between the lines and get ourselves prepared for any eventuality so that we will not be taken by events.
The president is in Kenya attending an AU-related event, and one of the things he said is that, one of the major challenges of AU, of the African Union, is its over-reliance on external support, and there's a need for us as a people or the union to, find alternative means of funding sustainably to sustain the union rather than always resorting to external help, and that affects the union's independence. What do you make of that call?
I mean, it is a good call, but as to whether it's not going to be business as usual, that we only listen to it but we don't work at it, that is another thing. Because nobody should tell us that we need to create our own funding to deal with emergency situations and also to support our own cause. Nobody should. This is common sense and it's basic knowledge. But over the years, because we have been so reliant on the first world in terms of everything, to the extent that when we are preparing our budget, we have to go for them, their support. When we are even building infrastructure in our country, we have to go for their support. Then obviously, it amounts to like retiring yourself or throwing your hands in despair and whether a number of things we can do for ourselves. We can build our own capacity. We can generate resources here. We can also put our house in order by getting means of livelihood for our people, create a very important society where we want to depend on people. It will not be too much. And that is how we have to build. But where you have leaders and their pals and cronies, then obviously we are, reinventing the wheel, and it has its own consequences. The time is now for leaders to think right and think more deeper towards building our own society, build capacity, develop ourselves. Thank God we have resources. All the development that you can talk about in the world is born out of resources, and most of the resources are found in Africa. Why are we poor? We need to take our destiny into our own hands and then add value to what God has given us. And I'm sure by dint of hard work, we should be successful.
Now, my final question to you would have to do with the incidents we've seen involving supporters of the NDC beseeching some state institutions. For instance, the GRA and then the NCA. First of all, they protested the appointments of two individuals, one to the NCA and then the other to the GRA, saying that these people were not true NDC supporters. Some of them went to the GRA office yesterday, and the police had to mount security presence there in order to forestall or prevent chaos. These reactions, what do you make of them, and to the extent where people are going to the places of work to protest?
It's no. It's no. This is very distasteful. The good people of this country voted for the NDC massively. So it's not only the supporters of the NDC who did that. Those who are even claiming that they are true supporters of the NDC, some of them, did not even vote for the party. But there's nothing wrong with that. All that we're saying is that for a government, a president to appoint people, there are a number of considerations. One of it is constitutional requirements. It requires a whole lot. And one aspect of ministerial appointment also is the fact that you are looking for competence. And where you get that does not matter. So there are certain ministries, department agencies that you want to put somebody. But the kind of skill set that you need, sometimes beyond the political party that is in office, you need to go beyond it and pick from the society to come and run the affairs with that. If you pick from anywhere, it is not a crime. And in fact, it's the best, provided the person has what it takes to be able to deliver on its promise. So that education must go to the youth. Stay away from it. Then be happy that the president is making the right appointment that will produce the results that they need for their party to be in government forever. But any other attempt will be similar to, it will amount to usurping the powers of the state. You will deny government the necessary oxygen for it to survive. Otherwise, we will not be operating a democracy, but a mobocracy, a mob rule, and then that's it. But that is not how a state is governed, and this country is governed by law. So they must apprise themselves with this type of information, and then stay within the remit of the law and allow the government to run. At the end of the day, if they have anything to give, let them put their shoulders on the wheel and support the work of government so that the government can deliver. Way to go. But going to challenge the appointment of government and going to mess up at a place and all that amount to nothing. It doesn't change the mind of the government. The government is focused, and I'm sure the government will do the needful by getting any Ghanaian who is qualified and be able to deliver results. I'm not sure the president will close his eyes to that. He will make sure that he get those people to fill the vacancies and then deliver. All that Ghanaians want is resource, and whoever is a Ghanaian and will be able to provide this, I'm sure no government would deny itself the opportunity to tap into that expertise of that individual to build the society.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We're grateful for your time, as always.
Right.
You heard us speak to Dr. Asa Asante. He is a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana Political Science Department and also the head of the Center for European Studies. It's still the Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. We'll go for a break. When we return,